autonomous region in the southwest of China is known for the picture-perfect plateaus and snow mountains. But apparently, that's not the only fascinating factor to recognize and explore here. Tibet was one of China's poorest areas, but over the years, Tibetans have seen significant progress in poverty reduction, especially since the country embarked on the unprecedented campaign of completely wiping out extreme poverty by 2020. So how have things turned around for the Tibetan people, not just from this region, but also those from the surrounding areas? Well, I've traveled to this part of the country to find out. I'm Jenny Cortez-Ibanez, and this is Xinhua Special. Home to 3 million people scattered across a vast area of 1.2 million square kilometers at an average altitude of over 4,000 meters, Tibet is one of the toughest places for China to achieve its poverty alleviation goal. But according to President Xi Jinping, on the march towards common prosperity, no one must be left behind. This is a newly built relocation site, and now 262 herdsman families live here. They moved from the highlands where they had harsh living conditions. Their old township is about 900 kilometers away from where we are now. In the rural communities in Rongma Township of Nima County, that has an altitude of over 5,000 meters, there was a power shortage, a lack of medical services, and poor education. But now the villagers' lives have turned around. Rinchen and his wife have 5 children, with the oldest 2 attending a primary school nearby, a dream come true for the couple. Relocation has been one of the main methods to improve the lives of herdsmen and farmers like Rinchen. As of August this year, nearly 250,000 people in Tibet had moved from areas with limited resources and ecologically fragile regions to 910 new settlements. That's 93% of all planned relocation in Tibet. Developing industries is a keystone of poverty alleviation in the area. The central government has invested 50 billion yuan to support this work, with sectors like tourism and yak and barley-based farming also helping locals here increase their incomes. Apart from the Potala Palace in Lhasa, the Princess Wanchong Show is the other place to be and see. We're here at the Princess Wanchong Theatre, located in a once poverty-stricken village. Back in the day, this place was so underdeveloped that women used to refuse to marry men living here. However, that changed once this live stage show began in 2013. The 90-minute opera extravaganza tells the tale of Princess Wanchong of the Tang dynasty, who came from Chang'an, today's Xi'an city, to marry Tibetan king Songtsen Gampo over 1,300 years ago. Among the 800-plus on-stage staff, 95% of them are local villagers.
以前的话，就家里收入1年也不到1万块钱，就现在我和弟弟都在这边工作。 1个月就能拿到1万多。我的梦想是能演到松赞干布，然后娶个像文成公主一样的老婆。
There were about 300 families in desperate need when the show started in 2013. Now all the villagers have cast off poverty. But some of the hard-working cast members are, well, not humans. Our next stop takes us to the fields of highland barley, a staple food on the plateau. Farmers used to harvest barely enough to fill their stomachs, but with the help of modern machines and enterprises, barley is now also a hot commodity. 70 kilometers away from Lhasa lies these stretches of farmlands owned by the villagers. The locals used to depend on the weather for a good harvest, but now they're able to earn a much higher and more stable income by leasing their fields to a local company. The Qijang Company rents 120 hectares of farmland from 62 local families and more from other communities.
다들 신가데 니마이나 공세마다 공리야이나 고몽아돈 레중마 다난다 공세다제 니 고모 티직다 니동자제 니 야뇌베 중소스.
Financial support not only comes from the central government, but also from other financing channels. From 2016 to 2018, 9.3 billion yuan that came from 17 provincial level regions and 16 centrally administered state-owned enterprises helped fund 1,589 poverty alleviation projects. The number of people below the poverty line in Tibet dropped from 800,000 7 years ago to 150,000 last year, with only 5.6% of Tibetans remaining in poverty. The regional government is confident that poverty will be eliminated in 2019. But Tibetans don't just live in Tibet, they're also in other provinces and prefectures. These Instagrammable and jaw-dropping views are thought to have inspired the Shangri-La of James Hilton's adventurous novel, Lost Horizon. But even this spectacular scenery can't hide the struggles of many of those living under the poverty line in Diqing Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture, southwest China's Yunnan province. However, one of the most talked about ways poverty relief here has been carried out is with ecological conservation. Dorti Teren was born and raised in this village and now works as a forest ranger in the area. Let's find out how they're doing. Dorje Tering has a family of 7. Their household previously lived in a shabby house and they went through some tough times. He distinctly recalled having to borrow money to have a proper New Year celebration.
2000年以前，我们这里很穷，赚不到了1年4000块。打猎、砍树、挖草药，破坏了环境，那个动物也见不到了。我现在在造这个湖里面，环境也变化了，动物又回来了，收入要提高了，生活要保障，1年收入6万左右了。
This solution of having tourism here was one option that has worked really well. So the villagers get some income from the tourism, and they also participate now in conservation. I'm really hopeful because I've seen the changes in China over these last 30 years. I think now China's in a position where it can be a model for the world.
The downside of living in these marvelous mountains is if there's no safe way to travel down, well, you're basically doomed. This is the stunning remote village called Bala up on the mountain slopes of Shangri-La. The road to get here was only built in 2008. Before that, the locals living here used to trek for 7 days barefoot just to get out of the valley. Sonam Dundrop was born in an isolated village. He lost his vision in one eye when he was a child. He remembered how he had to trek for 7 days in the mountains with his father just to be able to see a doctor. He has one of the most inspiring rags to riches stories I've ever heard.
我从小就想走出大山，后来找到了一些钱，然后再回来给我的家乡修路。但是现在的话呢，我们家乡的父老乡亲都脱贫了，可是我呢，就有点穷了啊。
The mogul sold a lot of his businesses and had to borrow hundreds of millions of yuan more to literally make a way for his community and for them to prosper just like he did. Villagers used to take every opportunity to leave the valley, but now it's an entirely different story.
以前我全家子收入只有1000块，现在公路通了，就收入有15万，电器啊什么都有，城里面有，就我家里也有啊。
A lot has been done to transform the lives of the Tibetan people, but more needs to be accomplished in every aspect to make sure that every person in the nation is lifted out of poverty by 2020. And as China's achievements in poverty alleviation have been globally recognized with their experience in the area, perhaps in the future there could be a peaceful, prosperous and harmonious Shangri-La for all. See you next time.